The Disneyland Resort has a few things going on right now. Obviously, it is patient one for is it going to reopen soon? It's the question we seem to ask and talk about every week, all the time on this show, and definitely one that continues to be asked not only by Disney, but by Disney fans of the state of California. The state of California continues to kind of move the goalposts around a little bit with the new color-coded system that's been put in place, whereas Orange County was just about to be off the watch list in terms of cases. They are now in a place where they're in the highest level color in terms of severity of cases. It sounds like next week at some point, as of this broadcast date, Orange County, if they maintain pacing, will be lowered down a level, which means that they are making progress towards a period of time where potentially they can start reopening things in mass. But we have discussed that the governor of the state of California has made it very clear that theme parks are not necessarily included in this new color-coded system, and that he's having, quote, dynamic conversations with theme park heads right now. He also said in a press conference this past week, when asked about theme parks coming back online, he said he's in discussions again, and that progress is being made. That is hopeful. We are hearing both internally as well as rumors floating around online again, because this continues all over the place. Everybody wants to know when Disneyland's coming back. We have heard internally that the end of October is being targeted, and then at the same time online, we're hearing the end of September. So there are two different variables here where potentially date range, we could see the end of September or the end of October. And I also know that Disneyland has sent out cancellation notices to various individuals who may have been staying at the resort hotel rooms, now being canceled, it looks like through September 19th. So that does push the window out yet again, and this is something that's been common. This is something that they've done as they get closer to a date range. They then send out the cancellation notices, so it's made it very hard to plan anything. I am feeling more and more confident that we're going to at least hear direction and guidance in the next 2 weeks. I think we're going to hear something for sure as to how this is going to work. But at the same time, I don't know necessarily that they're going to be able to get everything at this point, especially, you know, now being in September, if they're going to be able to get everything online by the end of September to open those gates up again. We're seeing a lot of activity in the parks by people who are just walking by, noticing some big changes going on from the front gates. So this is exciting to hear. Katrina, we've talked about this several times, and obviously the concerns of, you know, are they going to do it the right way? Will this be safe? Do you think that we are fast approaching finally some revelations of guidance? I think we're going to hear from the governor.
I feel like they have to wait it out. Like maybe hopefully, let's just be hopeful and positive that it's going to be in the next like 2 to 3 weeks. I know there's like a rumor mill that September 28th is the day that Disney's going to be opening or doing something. But again, I don't know. With this whole Labor Day thing happening again, it's just like you don't really know where we're going to be at after in the next couple weeks. So we can just skyrocket back to the worst cases possible versus getting any better. But I feel like Disney doesn't want to announce anything until they're absolutely sure, because they've been doing it since March about, oh, this week, okay, next week, this month, we're going to do something. And then now it's just kind of like we're just passing it. We're just like, I don't want any news if you're just going to delay it again. So just don't say anything at all until you're first certain that you're going to open. So I don't know. Maybe,
yeah, I think Disney feels that way. I think they're tired of toyed around because it's such a huge operation to try and get everything cycling back in the direction of progress and like bringing everything back online. That's a lot of money, you know, every time they do that. And so, you know, even with the July 17th date, which they had originally planned as a reopening, even with that in mind, you know, they had already started circling the wagons and getting everything in place. When that was occurring, that's a lot of money spent up front, you know, because they're pushing everything back into the parks operationally. They're turning everything back on again. They're going to great lengths to safeguard everything going into that process, only to have, you know, the rug pulled out from under them right before it happened. And you're absolutely right when it comes to Labor Day weekend and numbers coming 2 weeks out of this with the global pandemic cases. We saw it with was it Memorial Day, where coming out of that we saw a spike 2 weeks later, and that of course led the state government to shut things down again.
Yeah.
So knowing that there's a potential it could happen again, I know a lot of people don't like that and are very unhappy about that idea, but it's certainly something that could further dampen the potential of a Disneyland reopening.
I feel like if Universal and Disney were talking together, they wouldn't open Disneyland first if Universal couldn't open, because Universal's in Los Angeles, Disneyland's in Orange County, so they have different restrictions. LA County is the worst off right now, and I feel like if they were gonna do a fair competition with trying to get people to go back to the parks, they would try to open at the same time. So I feel like Disneyland wouldn't open unless Universal got the go-ahead to do it. And they're not going to get the go-ahead for like a while, I don't feel like.
Yeah, I don't know if they would. Yeah, I don't know. That's actually a decent point. I'm not sure they would actually penalize one of the theme parks, because they're in a different location when they're really not that far from each other, because it seems like a long car drive or whatever, but still, like, you can do that car drive easily. And so, like, those people are are mingling with these people, and I don't know. I don't know if they would do that, but
I feel like they would have to wait unless like the surrounding areas are all the same color and all in the same they're the most infected are not as infected anymore. I don't even know the color.
Well, and then again, I know it's confusing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then again, he did make it clear that theme parks were not going to be subjected to the same color-coded system. So, but I think you're right that that's obviously going to have to play some sort of impact here, that if you have one county that's in a more extreme color category of worse off cases and you have one county that's not, how do you, I guess, make the case?
They're like, haha, sucker.
Yeah. Right. Well, in San Diego County, which has done fairly well for itself, SeaWorld has come back as more of a zoo rather than a theme park and an attraction space. So, we've talked about potentially Disney doing some sort of food festival. Knott's Berry Farm has done that and been very successful. But yeah, lots of rumors here continue. Week to week, we keep hearing, oh, maybe now, maybe next week, maybe next month.
Yeah, I think what happens is Disneyland sets an internal date for themselves on when they want to open, and then that kind of gets out there, and people start talking about, we're
freaking out.
I heard they're thinking about this day and stuff. But what everybody forgets is that this has nothing to do with Disney. If they could open today, they would.
Yeah.
It's all about the government right now. So, Disney can set whatever date they want, but until they work something out, that's what it's going to be. It's all going to be just rumors.
I also think it's very odd. I mentioned this months ago, but Disney executives are part of the reopening board here in the state of California. If I recall correctly, Bob Iger was asked to be a part of it, and so I know that the executive leadership of the company has visibility to what's going on in these discussions and is a part of the discussion. So I still, to this very day, think it was quite odd that they had the rug pulled out from under them for July 17th reopening, because that felt like it was full speed ahead, and then all of a sudden, nope, and they pulled back, and it's like, well, wait a minute, Disney leadership is on this board. How did they not anticipate this was going to happen?
Yeah, I wonder if they're not all communicating as much as it seems like they should be, and it's very possible that Bob Iger doesn't hear about this stuff until it's too late. Maybe for the July opening, maybe they were set to go, and then it was like, oh, by the way, Bob, we're changing our mind on this. And he's like, no.
Yeah.
And then he went and yelled at Junior. I don't know.
He said, dang you, Chapek.
Yeah.
What you do? You mess things up on me again? That's how I imagine he yells at Bob Chapek.
Do you think...
I need a southern accent, too.
We were watching Earth to Ned last night, the new
Disney
Henson thing on Disney Plus, and he calls his dad Daddy Admiral. Or do you think that? Or no, I'm sorry, Admiral Daddy. And I'm like, do you think that that's what Chapek calls Iger? I wonder.
Admiral Daddy, please, sir. Can I restrict things more? We look forward to hearing guidance from the governor here very soon. We know that it's coming. We just don't know, obviously, when. And he says progress is being made. And I think that with all the rumors circulating about now a late September or maybe even an October reopening. There might be a great possibility at this point that we do hear at least the guidance as to what's going to happen next. We'll see. Bad news on the Disneyland park front. It turns out that Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway will not be commencing as expected. Disney has just announced that the Runaway Railway will be delayed to a 2023 opening at Disneyland. Obviously, the attraction is already open at Disney's Hollywood Studios, playing to big crowds in Walt Disney World, and was originally slated to premiere 2022 in Disneyland, but has likely been delayed due to the global pandemic. So, unfortunate news, that's for sure. It's a cute ride, lots of fun at Hollywood Studios. It's a great family attraction, that's for sure. And, if you haven't had the opportunity to be on it yet, just because it opened and then the park closed and has since reopened, and now a lot of folks clamor for it at Hollywood Studios. It is definitely worth going on, definitely worth experiencing. Like I said, great family attraction. And this was something that, for the most part, Katrina, I was excited about because it was a testament to the fact that Toontown at Disneyland was finally going to get some new life breathed into it, and it looked like Toontown was finally going to be a focus again. Sucks to hear that it's going to get delayed.
A little bit, but we all kind of knew it was happening, right? We all kind of knew that it wasn't going to be... It's actually, I thought 2023 is actually pretty good. I was thinking like 2025, or they would sweep it under the carpet and be like, we never announced any of this.
Mickey and Minnie's what?
What? I know that's at Disney World. What are you talking about? So I'm actually happy with 2023. And then maybe if they get their stuff, like working faster and whatnot, maybe they can speed up the process. Who knows? Mm-hmm. I don't know. But I'm okay with 2023.
I kind of wonder if they had to work within the confines of the old Great Movie Ride building, obviously, when they were building this. I kind of wonder if they're going to change up the pre-show and things like that.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
With this Disneyland version, because of to make it a little bit more spaced out, because they're not running the pre-show right now, obviously, over in Disney World, but it's one of those things where they're not running it because they built it into such a tiny little space.
Sure.
I wonder if they're going to fix that when they build it over in Disneyland, but we'll find out in 3 years.
I mean, the Disney World floor plan, or the Disneyland floor plan, excuse me, kind of looks like just a giant rectangle. And if you've seen any aerial shots of it or any sort of photos, you notice that it's just basically a giant box. And so I hope so too, because you're right, they had to sort of abide by what was given to them with Hollywood Studios' Great Movie Ride facility. So yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to having this attraction over in Disneyland Park for the sake of adding capacity and having a big family ride sort of shoehorned into the backside of Toontown that wasn't there before, an additional item to at least draw people to that side of the park. Now, if we could just connect Toontown over to the rest of the park, that would be nice and not have it be such a dead end. I thought for sure when Galaxy's Edge was coming online and they said Toontown was going to be sticking around, I thought, well, of course there's going to be a connection, right? Because then the whole park will be easily connected.
No.
Yeah, no.
Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Didn't happen at
Same
all.
thing with Critter Country, really. I mean, it's got those dead ends because it was built in a time where I don't think they were really thinking about how crowded that place was going to get with the traffic and everything.
Much more popular.
Yeah.
How are they going to do... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm glad to hear that it's coming at all, because there were rumors for a time that I remember that Toontown was going to be going away. And so I'm glad that Toontown's staying. I hope they actually refresh all of Toontown when they do this, but probably not.
Maybe that's why it's extended out until 2023, because they have to kind of like repaint stuff and fix
that's
the
possible.
trolley.
Yeah.
The trolley, the jolly trolley. Oh, poor little guy.
Might never return.
It's just a little DVC area now.
Yeah. Well, Toontown, you're finally getting some loving, even if it is delayed. We look forward to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway coming to Disneyland Park in 2023 now.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.